Welcome to another slow fashion video with me, Tess Waltenberg. If you don't know me yet, I'm a content creator from Sweden. I talk about slow fashion, sustainable living, spirituality, low tox living, and a lot of different things. But there is a red thread to me because it's really all about feeling good, doing good, and living the best possible life for yourself and for the planet. Today I'm really happy because my camera is finally fixed. It has been broken for I don't know how long. My tripod broke, so it fell off, and then the screen broke. It was one of those things where I was like, one thing led to the other, and I was like, are you kidding me? And it has been one of those small things that has really been draining my energy, where it's like, this is just supposed to work. This is something I use all the time and I really need it. But since it was just a crack in the screen, and it was the flip of the screen because I have a Canon G7X where you can flip the screen up so you can look at yourself. So it was that was broken, but I could still use the camera. So I haven't handed it in for a couple of months. But now I finally did, and I'm so happy about that because I use it so much and it does so much for my work to have a camera that just works. So I'm really happy about that. And today I'm going to show you some of my favorite vintage pieces in my closet. As you know, pretty much everything I have is secondhand. Some is slow fashion brands, some is new purchases that I've really been thinking about for a long time and where I feel like I'll be using those pieces for a really long time. So it's been conscious choices, even if it's not conscious production. But most of my closet is secondhand, and I also have some really amazing vintage pieces that I want to show you today. So when it comes to shopping vintage, you can obviously go to a traditional vintage shop where everything is curated. It's usually a bit more expensive because that person who owns it has taken the time to really go through the things and do the research and spend a lot of love in looking into what pieces they buy. So that's one option to buy vintage, but you can also go to secondhand stores and try to find it yourself. So if you go to a thrift shop or a secondhand store or any other place where there's a lot of other stuff too, a lot of new stuff too, you will have to spend a lot of more time, but you'll usually get it cheaper. So it's really up to you if you want to get it curated and easy and pay a little bit more money, or if you want to go through a thrift shop and find it cheaper and spend a little bit more time. For me personally, I actually think it's quite fun to go thrift shopping and try to really find those nuggets, but I totally understand too that there are a lot of people who aren't really interested in secondhand and who doesn't really like that treasure hunt. And it's also okay to make it simple and fun, because the great thing is that you're getting started with secondhand, you're trying to buy more consciously, and it's okay if that's not your main interest. If you want to book a personal shopping session with me, let me know, send me a DM on Instagram or comment here and I'll contact you. I haven't started doing this officially, but it's something I really want to start doing, so if you contact me, I'll see it as a sign. If you want inspiration on how to find secondhand and where to find secondhand, you can always visit my blog, tesswaltenberg.se, where I have a lot of different guides. I have pictures from different shops where you can read about what you can buy in certain shops. And it's a lot around Malmö and Lund, where I live, but it's also some in Stockholm. I have some New York stuff coming up, so check it out. It's in Swedish, but it usually isn't a problem to translate it through Google Translate or something. But today we're going to talk about vintage, and my love for vintage started when I was around 16 and I was visiting my dad in New York, and I went to this amazing vintage shop by a Swedish woman called Molly Landeus. I think it's still located in Williamsburg. You should definitely check it out if it is. I haven't been there in many years, but she had so many amazing things, and we ended up talking about vintage and finding those goodies and finding what's trendy and translate that through vintage and finding this own personal style and doing it your own way. And it was so inspiring to me to meet her and to be there and see all these vintage things. And I also went thrift shopping when I was there. So I went to Beacon's Closet, that's located in Williamsburg. There's also locations in Manhattan, so if you're there you should definitely check it out and see what they have in the different stores. So Beacon's Closet is a curated secondhand shop, so it's not all vintage, but there's a lot of vintage, and if you ask me, the pieces I've gotten have been pretty affordable, so that's a really great advice if you're around that area. And the things I'm going to show you today are from different places, and some of them are actually things I've gotten from family members, so they're very personal to me too, and I'm so happy that I have been able to receive these things. I totally understand that a lot of people don't save their things. Of course, this is something related to family, but I'm so grateful that I have family members that have saved things, because it feels so special to me to be able to wear something that comes from someone I love and care for. And the first blouse I'm going to show you, the first piece, is this white vintage blouse that I bought in Malmö. It's really beautiful. It has shoulder pads. It's very, I don't know what area it's from actually, because I can't really place it, but it's very nice with the defined waist and the shoulder pads. And I bought this at Myrorna, so it was actually quite affordable. It was in a curated Myrorna shop. So in Malmö there is a shop that has a lot of special pieces, a lot of vintage pieces. So it's a little bit more expensive than buying an H&M dress from a second-hand store. But it's still a really great way to find affordable vintage pieces if you want to get started. And like you heard me say, I'm not really 100% sure of every area every piece is from, and you don't need to be a vintage expert to appreciate vintage and to go to these shops. And that's why it's so amazing too that there are these curated shops where there's someone who really knows their stuff, who have been going out and finding these amazing pieces and put together a collection for you to make you inspired and to make it easy and fun to buy sustainably. So that's one of my favorite pieces. I usually wear it with jeans, and it's a really nice way to feel dressed up, even if you wear it with jeans and some boots, and just very casual but still dressy, since it has this really beautiful defined waist and the shoulder pads. So I really love that. And when I was at that shop, I also bought this jacket that I really love. It also has shoulder pads. I realized that I actually feel very comfortable in shoulder pads as long as it's not too much, and it also has the defined waist. So this is also a really nice piece if you want to wear just a t-shirt and some jeans or something more casual and just dress it up in a way that doesn't feel too office dressed up or too strict. So I really love that one. Let's see if I can put it back without it falling. And now we're going over to the sentimental pieces. So this is not going to be a great color match. I apologize for that in advance. But this is actually my grandmother's old Ralph Lauren jacket, and I just love it so much. It's so beautiful and it's in such great condition. She's really been taking care of it, and I'm so grateful that she gave it to me. And I love these timeless pieces that are just like, they just look so good no matter what time you're in. They never go out of style. And now it's gonna look a little bit like weird with this dress underneath, but I really love it. And having a really nice jacket is actually a really great styling tip, to just add something extra to a casual outfit. You can just wear something really plain and add a really nice jacket to give you, first of all, that feeling, like that confident feeling, because I feel like you get a different posture when you wear something nice, like a jacket, and it's like pulling your shoulders back and making you feel, or at least me feel, more confident. So I have a lot of nice jackets, and this is just so amazing. I really love it. Doesn't really work with the cocky dress, but just wanted to show you what it looks like when it's on. I'm gonna unbutton it, and then I'm going to show you something else that's very sentimental to me. As you probably know, my dad passed away a year ago, and I stole these from him before he died. But I have his old band t-shirts. So I have this one that's from '97. It's a Pantera t-shirt. And I also have a Sepultura t-shirt that's from '92. And I have a Skid Row t-shirt from, what is it, 89? 89, yeah. So this is from '89. I have a Metallica t-shirt and Justice for All. That's from, I don't know the year, but it's super old, and you can really see the fabric. It's like super thin and super soft because it's so old. And I also have a Master of Puppets t-shirt. So this is really soft too. I don't know if you can even see it, but it's like the black is almost turning gray and it's super thin. You can see that it's almost a little bit transparent when I do like this. And these t-shirts mean so much to me. So if you have band t-shirts at home and you think like, oh, I'm not gonna keep this because why does it matter? I'm not using it anymore. Try to think about saving it for your kids, especially if it's something that's personal. Like, oh, this is a concert I went to, there's a date on it, and it was a band that I really loved. Even if you don't listen to that band anymore, it might be something special. I'm not saying that you should hoard things if your kids eventually want it. That's definitely not what I'm saying. As you know, I've been very much into like KonMari and minimalism and stuff, but just save the special things. And sometimes like these things are the most amazing sentimental things instead of having some random thing just lying around. I love that I can use these and really feel my dad being present when I use them. And since I'm now listening to the same bands, when I was 10, this is a fun story. When I was 10, I actually went to my dad and he had put together a collection of albums that are like classic metal albums that he thought I should have. It was, I think it was Black Album by Metallica, it was Dr. Feelgood with Mötley Crüe, it was, I don't even remember what was in there, but I remember like going to him and saying, you know, Dad, this is out. This is out. And I brought him a Hilary Duff CD and I was like, this is the shit. This is the shit. Now. And I think he was quite proud when I came when I was 15 and I told him that I had been wrong and that apparently those old albums that I got were actually the shit. Oh, it was Pantera Cowboys from Hell too. And Pantera Cowboys from Hell was like, I listened to that for all of my high school years and it was like what made me get up in the morning when I didn't want to go to school. Classic Manifesto style. But yeah, that's just a fun story and I really love these band t-shirts. I love that I have something that is both awesome and cool. I'm so proud to have t-shirts that are older than me, but to also have something that reminds me of my dad in everyday life. I have some friends who say that I shouldn't wear them, but for me it's really important to wear them, even if they're really old and amazing. So I also have two more non-sentimental pieces that I wanted to show you. Let's just see where I should put this. Here we go. So this is the piece that I got at Beacon's Closet. You might have seen it before because I did another video where I showed you my New York thrift store finds, but it's a really nice basic jeans dress that I just love, and I like that it's made in this jeans fabric that is quite thick but not super thick, so it's like soft and nice to wear, but it's still really high quality. And then I have a leather jacket. But you know, one of those vintage leather jacket that is so stiff you almost can't move around. I wore this at a photo shoot the other day and I was like, when I was trying to pose, I almost couldn't get around. But it's really nice, and it also has this really amazing like defined waist that I love. It's not one of those that I can wear underneath my winter jacket, that's all I can say, but I really love it anyway, and it's just super cool. So I hope I'll get around to wear this soon, maybe during spring or something, with a cardigan underneath and a hat. I actually brought out my hat even if I haven't put it on because I love it. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you today, and let me know in the comment section if you have any great vintage find that you're super happy about, or if you have any ideas on where to find vintage, maybe around here in Lund or Malmö if you live here, but also other places. And let's just get a conversation starting around vintage and slow fashion and give each other ideas and inspiration. I really love that. You can also link your Instagram account if you're one of those people who write about vintage and slow fashion and you want to share some inspiration and just let people find your account that way. So I hope you'll have a beautiful day and that you enjoyed this video. Please hit subscribe if you love slow fashion and sustainable living and spirituality and a little bit of everything that I share here, and intentional living, and let's stay in touch. Bye!